Hey everyone, Chris from Spruce Creek Farms here. Just thought I'd do a quick little run through of the Shurflo pump box that we've been using here for, this will be our second year with it. Just thought I'd give it a quick rundown on kind of what's inside and how I built it and the type of parts I used. Still a work in progress, but we're all learning. So started off with just a standard plastic tote from the hardware store. I think this one here is a 189 liter, or for people south of the pond, 50 gallons. So it's just a standard tote with a lid. I have the lid over here. Just a regular lid, a little bit dirty, but it's been sitting out in the sugar shack all year, so it just needs to be cleaned up. Everything's kind of made of wood in here. My father made the nice little cover for us. Even though it's inside the box, he made a glass cover for us, just to keep it dry and safe. All right, so this control panel looks a bit complicated, and there's probably more wires and connectors in there that need to be in there, but we like to make things complicated here. So the way it's put together, so we have a 12-volt battery, deep cycle. Ours happens to be a group 27. I think it's what they call a flooded lead acid battery. You can go a lot more if you want to spend more money. You can get like an AGM. I think they're like the gel batteries, or you want to get a if you really want to go all out, you can get a lithium battery. It's going to be a lot more pricey, but this one here has been pretty good for me for the last year. I did a test on it, still top notch, so I'm not worried about it for the next season. So that battery gets maintained by what we have here is a solar charge controller. So what a solar charge controller does is it takes the voltage or the energy coming in from the solar panels. So your solar panels are connected to here, your positive, negative, and so it takes that voltage and it charges your battery. So your battery is connected to these two, and then any power you want to use from the system you can take from these two. Pretty simple design. It's got a few USB ports. Don't really use them. I guess if I wanted to install a light, you could probably go on Amazon and find like a USB light you can plug in here. So if you come out here at night and you can't see what you're doing, you can just plug in a light, go from there. So yeah, so underneath here, let's remove this real quick. So I'm working one-handed here. Let me just tilt this up a little bit here so we can see what's underneath, how I connected it. Like I say, a lot of this is a lot more complicated. I tried to make it a bit, like modular, so I can take it apart pretty easy. So I connected everything with just regular trailer plugs. So I got one trailer plug here, and this trailer plug has two leads that go to the battery, and the other two leads go down towards the pump to power the pump, and the other side goes up and into the control board. And I'm going to try and find the schematic. I have the schematic for this control board somewhere, but I just haven't found it yet, but I will find it, I hope. Or if not, I'll draw it out again. It's not that bad. This one here, this here is just a regular extension cord that comes in from the outside. So it comes down and goes out and goes out. You can see it going out of the box down there, and goes just a regular extension cord. It's enough to handle the 150 watts of solar panels that I have. And it's just this is some sort of trailer connector. I think it's a 2-pin trailer connector. I rigged up a lot of black tape on there and stuff like that. But I can unplug that and take this whole board out if I want to work on it. Down below is the pump. I'm using the Shurflo 4008. I think it runs at 7.5 amps maximum, and I want to say it's like it's 3 gallons per minute. So this is the smaller one of the Shurflo pumps. They do make the 4048, which I believe is 4 gallons per minute. It uses a bit more amperage. I think it's rated at 10 amps. So you would have to make sure all your components are capable of handling the 10 amps. Not sure if the pump actually will draw the full 10 amps, but if it was under pressure, like these pumps are used for RVs, for your water system. So they're designed so that when you open a tap, the pressure sensor in the pump sees the release in pressure and starts the pump and starts pumping water through your taps. And when you close the tap, the pressure builds up and then the pump shuts off. So we're just running the pump wide open, so there's actually not putting any pressure on the outlet side. It's just kind of creating a vacuum on the inlet side. So that's the only work it's going to be doing is pulling in that vacuum. Then it goes into right here. We have the strainer, and those are pretty much a must for the Shurflo pumps. It just makes sure no debris goes in and damages the diaphragm of the Shurflo pump. The Shurflo pump is just a brand. It's a diaphragm pump. They're pumps designed to pump dry. Well, they're not really designed to pump dry, but they can run dry without burning out. So in the sap business, the maple syrup business, it's kind of handy for that, just in case the sap's not flowing. You're not going to worry about burning out the pump. Let me go around to the other side. Sorry for the filming here. Filming on my cell phone. And sometimes it doesn't want to focus, so I keep focusing on the screen here. Alright, let's move this out of the way. Once again, working one-handed here, so bear with me. Alright, so here we have on the other side of the Shurflo pump, the strainer valve, and here is the three-way valve that I use to bypass the pump when I turn the pump off. So if you think of it, the arrow that's showing here, it's showing that this valve has 3 ports on it, 1, 2, and 3. And right now only this port and that port are opened up, so the direction is straight through the valve. Nothing can go actually out the outlet of the valve because that is up there. So you can turn this valve. So this would be what they call in service. What I call in service. So when the pump is running, it's creating a vacuum in through the manifold, and I have all my 3/16 tubing runs connected to each one of these. So I have 8 on this one here. Might be a little bit overkill. If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't go with the full 8. I actually only use 7 of these. I install a vacuum gauge on the last one just to see, to make sure that I see the pump is actually working and putting a vacuum. The vacuum you're going to have down at the bottom is not going to be the same vacuum you're going to have at the top. If you have a decline down towards the pump, it's going to be, and if you're using 3/16 tubing on gravity, it will the vacuum will be a lot higher on the top than it is in the bottom, depending on how much elevation drop you have. We just installed little wooden brackets there to hold it in there, so we could just unscrew that when we want to take it out. So at the end of the day, when I want to turn the pump off, or when the pump goes off, I come out and I check, make sure everything's okay, and I turn this valve like that. So you can see that the sap's going to come in from the trees into these lines through the manifold, and rather than go into the pump, it's just going to bypass it and go straight down. And I install just a regular little rigid tube, and it just comes out the outside here. So this hole would be for the bypass, and then I have another one here that's on the other side of the pump. So when the pump is running, it would pump out there, out that elbow, and this container sits right on top of my tank, so I just direct that right into the lid of my storage tank.